Our digital identity isn't just about us as individuals. It's the collective identity of a nation. It's about the values we uphold, the information we share, and the way we navigate the digital landscape together.
So, let's spark a conversation. Let's talk about the power of our digital identities and how they shape our world. Understanding our digital selves is certainly more important now than ever before. This is Tech Mode, your one-stop tech exploring program on the NTA. We are glad to have you again.
Nigeria is one of the few countries in the world whereby you can travel from the north to south and nobody asks you for any means of identification. Okay, a few years ago you can board a plane or enter public transport without identification, but that is changing now. That tells you the level of awareness. Up to 2015, we had only about 7 million enrollment, but we were able to ramp up enrollment because of collaboration. One of the major collaborators that really advanced our cause are the banking system, which is the Nigerian interbanking system, whereby we harmonized about 15 million records of the BVN. We adopted those that meet the criteria. We were able to bring them on board and generated an NIN for them. So right now we have about 103 or 104 million records in the database. And it is projected, the estimated population of Nigeria is between 200 and 230. So at this point we can say that we are about at 15%, we've captured about 50% of the population. So pretty much we do believe that NIN has come to stay, and also to make things easier in terms of verification, we've introduced also digital ID, whereby we've moved from issuing a piece of paper to having a digital copy on your phone, on your smartphone. And this is just to make life easier for the citizen in some of the benefits of what the National Identification System provides. We are also aware there are a lot of citizens that are unbanked because some of them live in areas whereby there are poor communication in the rural area. We've tried to make things easier for them. We partner with, we give license to private companies, so we call them the front-end partners, whereby they can go to the hinterland, to places how to get area to capture citizens. And also, recently, there will be government programs like palliative that the poorest of the poor will enjoy. And one of the criteria is that for you to qualify for this program or for you to get this benefit, you must have your NIN. So we do believe that this will also increase adoption, and will bring more people who naturally wouldn't have come for the service, will come to get registered for this.
We are now joined by a technology expert, Mr. Abubakar Sadiq, to have him share an expert viewpoint about our digital identity. So, Mr. Abubakar Sadiq, it's glad to eventually have you on Tech Mode.
Thank you very much for having me on Tech Mode.
Well, so let's get started. There is that traditional notion of identity. How does that differ from the concept of digital ID?
Yeah, digital identity is an identification or representation of an individual in cyberspace. This can be in form of username or password or tokens. Tokens are strings, more like representations that are readable by machines, that can be used to identify an individual or even a machine to another machine. And this differs from traditional identity because digital identity is transferable, is transformable into different forms, and it can be used to authenticate different systems. But for traditional identities, they usually come in form of an ID card or an ID number that is usually meant for just one system. And for you to use them most of the time, you need to be physically present. But for digital identity, your one ID that you registered somewhere can be transformed to be used by another systems, and different systems can authenticate with those systems. And your ID can be stored digitally and used to authenticate you even in your absence. That is how digital identity differs from traditional identity.
Digital platforms establish some sort of authentications to ascertain users, people who subscribe to those platforms. But one would simply wonder what exactly happened at the system background.
Yeah, once an identity of someone has been created, this is mostly through filling a form or creating an account, or basically creating an account. And that creation of account can be in different forms. It can be maybe by capturing your biometric data, or by capturing your pictures, or by you simply filling a form like your name, your username, your password, and so on. There's another one that is usually like a token, a service token. Sometimes when you use applications, you sign in with your username and password, then a token is created that the app then uses to communicate. A token is like a string of scripts encrypted that the system understands. Then this token is used for the system to send to the server anytime it wants to, oh, this person is logging in. Can we authenticate it with this token? There's also what we call machine-to-machine authentication, whereby a machine is talking on your behalf, or servers are talking to each other. For example, if you are using maybe like an online payment to pay, how does the system recognize that, oh, this payment is coming from this system, or that your service provider that you are using is using another service provider? How does it authenticate between those services? That's a form of identity that it uses. But for most individuals, you create an account, a representation of your account are stored on their systems. So anytime you want to authenticate, they usually use what we call hashing algorithms. They check what you enter against an encrypted or hashed version of the one you supplied when you registered. When they try to authenticate between them, if it's the same thing, then you are allowed in. If there's even a slight difference in what you entered, the hashing string will be completely different. So when they now try to check it to show them that, no, this authentication is not authorized, so you cannot log in.
All right. There is no two ways about it that in spite of intelligent system algorithms, there will still be some sort of vulnerabilities. So what about identity theft and fraud?
One of the huge risks of digital identity is identity theft. Your information can be stolen and it can be used to access the services that you normally have access to, or to sign up for things that ordinarily you don't want to sign up for, like loans and other things that might impact you negatively. It can even also have their consequences for people in high-placed environments or in security agencies, where those data can then be used to access critical information or critical data that can impact a whole nation. For example, recently there was a news I read in Finland where a hacker was able to gain access to the psychiatric data of a lot of people within a particular company. It led to people committing suicide, and it led to a major discussions in the country about how data can be secured. So educating the populace and educating the data users, like the companies and so on that are accepting this data, on how to fish out identity theft and how to ensure that they are only authenticating the real owners of the data. That is what is critical now, because there's no way you can call back all the data that have been exposed already, and we can't ask people to go get new names, new phone number, new date of birth because data has been compromised. It's just ensuring it doesn't happen again, then educating people on how to protect themselves whenever they find themselves in situations whereby their data are being misused.
All right. So thank you for that insightful and educating inputs.
Thank you very much for having me on TechNode.
We have been talking to Abubakar Sadiq, an accomplished technology expert who even mentors other experts in tech-related fields. It's great to have you on Tech Mode.
Tech Mode is unlocking your tomorrow today.
One would almost forget the fragility of our digital world, perhaps until something goes wrong when we are thrown into the digital wilderness.
Let's talk about the chaos that ensued sometimes recently when Facebook, Instagram, and WhatsApp plunged into a digital blackout. At first, we all thought it was a cyber attack, right?
Accusations were misplaced, blaming shadowy hackers for messing with our beloved social media platforms.
But guess what? The truth was far more surprising. It wasn't the work of cyber assailants at all. No, it was a glitch in the metrics, the meta-parent system to be precise.
This whole debacle was a wake-up call reminding us all of the fragility of our digital world and the importance of ironclad system and transparent communication. This incident isn't just about a few apps going offline. It's about the broader application of our digital dependence and the urgent need for accountability in safeguarding our online experience. We are now joined by Dr. Yazid. He is a software engineer of repute who also is generous to share his wealth of knowledge and experience in digital problem solving. So, Dr. Yazid, you're welcome on Tech Mode.
And I'm glad I'm here as well.
All right. To get started, Dr. Yazid, what is a digital footprint?
Okay, right. Let's start by looking at the two words, digital footprint, right? Digital, internet, technology, simply is what is digital. Footprint is trails that you leave somewhere, right? So, so in a nutshell, digital footprint, see it as the trace you leave behind when you use the internet. Whenever you are on your social media network, being Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, LinkedIn, and you are doing your normal activities. So, but it's beyond just using social media network. Whenever you go on this e-commerce website, maybe you want to shop for a bag. So your most of these e-commerces, they have something we call cookies. So when you so it's going to monitor your behavior. You just see it, anything you do on internet, anything you do, you are leaving back a trace that can be used to target you either for a good purpose or for the negative purpose.
All right, that was quite explicit about our digital footprints. But who can follow one's digital footprint and how? And why does that even matter?
Okay, you see the digital footprints, they are also good. Yeah, if you look at it from the other side, because somehow it shapes your reputation online, right? For example, now I am a marketer, or I'm a company coming to Nigeria to start a new business, and I have a limited budget on e-marketing. So instead of me to risk it all, and without knowing the results, the outcome of the marketing, it will be better for me to go to a data broker. Data brokers are people who buy this kind of data, right? But for a good purpose, not for a bad purpose. Because why they do that is to give people personalized kind of advertisement. So I will go there, tell them, okay, I'm looking for data of people that are interested in this, and that, because I love to promote my good to this kind of people. I'm fine. You sign a deal, you pay them, and they give you access to the data. You use it, you promote your goods to that particular audience. So like if you look at that, like this is one of the good side of the data, because maybe you might be interested. You might actually click on some of those ads because it's what you really want. So, and if you're applying for visa, Instead of those embassies to go out there, you start calling people, your family, to know more about you, because you are leaving a country to another country. So they need to be sure who you are really, so before they can grant you those visas. So it will be easy if they can trace your trace that you live on internet to find out who really you are. The internet says a lot about you. Like, it's your whole profile there on the internet.
All right. Having said that, how do we then manage our digital footprints to do with our financial operations on transactions rather? This is one thing that most people out there would not want to take for granted.
See, those digital inclined financial platforms, they have something that we call white cards as a lock, but in the technical space, all that. So what it simply means is that you can, whenever you use your card, for example, your card, maybe to use a payment, to issue a payment, invoice, or transfer, buy data, whatever you use the card to do, your information are saved. So at times, there are web browsers that save some of those information, but not fully, for someone to authorize a transaction. So, and why they do that is so that next time, if you are shopping online and you are required to provide your card data, at least it should be able to help you, let me say 70%. In Nigeria, if we have the Nigerian Data Protection Agency, and what they simply do is that they make sure that your data, the data of Nigerian citizens, people, is safe on the internet. Is safe as far as someone is using technology, because internet is not the only part of technology, right? So they make sure that they don't steal your data. They make sure that they carry out measures to make sure that those platforms, they don't use your data anyhow. So, and each and every country has its own data protection agency.
All right. Thank you, Dr. Ezid. It's indeed awakening to have this talk with you.
It's my pleasure.
As much we prepare for the foreseen, we should as well be ready to face even the ultimate future of our existence. What happened to our digital identities when one passes on?
Facebook has introduced a feature called Legacy Contact to address what happens to a user's account after they pass away. With Legacy Contact, users can designate someone they trust to manage their Facebook account posthumously. This trusted individual, known as the Legacy Contact, gains limited access to the deceased user's account, allowing them to fulfill certain roles like updating the profile picture, responding to friend requests, and even pinning a post to the profile. This feature enables users to have some control over their digital presence even after they are gone, ensuring that their accounts can be maintained or memorialized according to their wishes. It also provides a sense of closure and peace of mind to users and their loved ones, knowing that their online legacy can be managed in a thoughtful and respectful manner. Legacy Contact is a significant development in acknowledging the complexities of digital life and the importance of managing our online identities even beyond that. It reflects Facebook's commitment to user privacy and control, allowing individuals to make informed decisions about the fate of their accounts and digital legacies.
Is that all about our DIGI? One would almost forget the fragility of our digital world, perhaps until something goes wrong. Then we are thrown into the digital wilderness.
Tech Mode is unlocking your tomorrow today.
Well, but of course we plan to get going by car, and that should remind us to take this Octane review by Car Lifa.
Hello everyone and welcome back to another episode of Tech Mode Auto Time. My name is Khalifa, your host. This is 2022 Land Cruiser Prado 70th anniversary, and today we are going to see what this car is all about. Okay, so over here we have this LED light written Land Cruiser Prado on it. We have the exhaust and quad exhaust tips here. This is, you can open the boot. So, here we have the 19-inch rims. We have the running board here, another 19-inch rims. We have the 360 camera here on the side mirror. Then this is the legendary Land Cruiser front end. And here running light, we have the fog light and everything. So Toyota have been very creative in terms of design. If you can agree with me, this is one of their most beautiful cars. And it's not just a car, it's a powerhouse on wheels. So right here we have the steering wheel, we have some controls here, you have your cluster, you have your screen here, you have controls for the AC and other things, you have storage here, you have your e-brake, you have the gear selection, and also you have storage here. Right here we have the sunroof, you have the sunroof control over here, and also you have your light controls over here.
Well, that's it overall on Tech Mode this week. Join us again same time. Let's do this once more. I am Malem Haruna Dogondaji, and on behalf of the production crew, I say, see you soon.